This meeting in the Minneapolis Municipal Canvassing Board. Clerk, call the roll.
Councilmember Kano is absent. Reich. Bender is absent. Glidden. Yang. Andrew Johnson. Quincy.
Here.
Warsami. Goodman. Fry.
Here.
Palmisano. Gordon. President Johnson.
Here. We have a quorum present this morning, and so we will proceed to the business before us. Our city clerk, Mr. Casey Carl, is recognized to present the staff report. Mr. Carl.
Good morning, Madam President. May it please the board, I'm here to present the unofficial returns of the 2 ballot questions that were submitted to the electorate as part of the 2014 gubernatorial general election, which was conducted Tuesday, November 4th. Minnesota statutes designate the City Council as being the canvassing board for municipal issues. As required by law, the canvassing board must convene between the 3rd and 10th day following the election to canvass returns and to declare official results. Today is the 9th day following the general election, so we are within the statutory time frame to complete the canvassing of returns. Notice of today's meeting was provided last week, and the agenda and supporting documents were posted to the city website this past Friday, November 7th. Ballot question number 1 pertained to an increase in municipal filing fees, which were originally set by state statute in 1967. The proposed increase is as follows. For mayor, $500. For council member, $250. For board of estimate and taxation member, $100. And for park and recreation board commissioner, $100. As provided under state law, all candidates continue to have the option of filing via petition rather than paying any fee. The statute requires a candidate filing by petition to gather the lesser of either 500 signatures from registered voters or the signatures of 5% of the total votes cast in the last election for that particular office. As reflected in the staff report, a total of 122,720 voters responded to question number 1, and it passed with 64% of those voting on the question voting in the affirmative. That's a total of 80,257 voters who responded in the affirmative on increasing filing fees as described. Those filing fees become effective in January 2015, and we would anticipate seeing the change in time for the next regular municipal election, which is set for November 2017. Ballot question number 2 pertained to liquor licensing regulations set forth in the city charter for small commercial areas outside of the downtown zone, which has been referred to as the 70-30 requirement. This regulation was adopted by referendum in 1996 and was intended to prevent restaurants selling wine or beer from becoming problem areas for their neighborhoods and restaurants and residents. As reflected in the staff report, a total of 128,157 voters responded to question number 2, and it passed with 83% of those voting on the question voting in the affirmative. That's 107,067 voters who responded in the affirmative to eliminate charter regulation of liquor licensing, allowing these matters to be set by ordinance. By state law, questions involving liquor have a higher threshold for passage, requiring at least 55% of those voting on the question to vote in the affirmative. Based on the total number of voters that voted on this question and the results that I've reported, this minimum threshold was satisfied. The amendment becomes effective in January 2015, timed to coincide with the new city charter plain language revision adopted by voters during the 2013 municipal election. Staff has drafted an order to be considered by the canvassing board. If adopted, this order certifies the official results of the 2 ballot questions submitted to the electorate as part of the 2014 municipal election, declares the official results of both of those questions, including the total number of votes cast for each ballot question and the number of votes for and against each of those questions, and directs the city clerk to submit certified copies of these official results of the 2 ballot questions to the Hennepin County Auditor and to the Secretary of State, and to preserve official original returns and related election records in accordance with Minnesota election law. That concludes my staff presentation.
Are there any questions? Seeing none, the order of the canvassing board is before us. Do we have a motion?
So moved, Madam Chair.
Okay.
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, clerk, call the roll.
Councilmember Reich. Glidden. Yang. Andrew Johnson. Quincy.
Aye.
Warsami.
Aye.
Goodman. Fry.
Aye.
Palmisano. Gordon. President Johnson.
Aye.
That's 11 ayes.
Okay, with that, we've completed the canvassing and certification of the official election returns for the two charter amendments. And now Ms. Wachlaroas will review the statistics of the 2014 election, which were certified by Hennepin County, the Hennepin County Canvassing Board, and also identify the specific Minneapolis precincts that will be included in this year's post-election audit. Ms. Wachlaroas?
Good morning, Madam President and members of the City Council. I would like to highlight the statistical data that you have in your packet. 137,362 Minneapolis voters participated in this year's gubernatorial election for a total of 55.55% turnout. This is consistent with the 2010 gubernatorial election, which had 140,363 voters, or 55.59% turnout. The notable difference, however, between the two elections is in absentee voting. As you know, this was the first year of the no excuse absentee voting participation. This year, we had 12,279 voters participate, or a total of 8.9% of the voters. This is actually double from the 2010 election, which had 6,405 voters, or 4.56%. Relative to this year's election, I'd like to point out some of the top vote getters. The top ward for participation was Ward 13, with 15,946 voters, or a total turnout of 66.87%. Wards 11 and 12 follow closely with 65.57% and 65.39%, respectively. Other notable turnout has Ward 6 with the highest absentee voters participating, with 11.46% of the voters voting by absentee. The highest single precinct for voters in the polls was Ward 12, Precinct 5, with a total of 1,894 voters. The highest same-day registrations goes to Ward 3, Precinct 1, with 761 same-day registrations. As usual, the Elections Division will present a full report of the 2014 election with full analysis of this data, as well as lessons learned from feedback gleaned from staff and our election judges. We expect to be back before the Election Committee sometime by the first of the year. Is there any questions?
Thank you, Ms. Wachlaroas. So we'll get more of a detailed breakdown then further down the road.
In January is our goal, is to
Okay.
present all the detailed analysis of what worked, what didn't, and gearing up for 2015 as well as the 2016 presidential election.
Okay. I noticed today in the Star Tribune, the editorial talked about congratulated actually the elections office, that what would you call it, the downturn between a presidential and a regular general election was less for us than St. Paul. We did a better job in that turnout. So it'll be interesting to see those statistics. And I think some of the council members might be interested too in looking at their own a comparison of their own voter turnouts over history a little bit too. So.
I would be, Madam President, I'd be happy to provide 2012 as well as 2010's statistical analysis. In your packet is 2014, but I'd be happy to provide that for further comparison.
Okay. Councilmember Gordon.
Thank you. I just wanted to note that I thought the election went off incredibly well. I really appreciated the efforts for the no excuse absentee voting that went on. I was impressed with the turnout, but also with how smoothly everything went. And one of the things that I kind of listen for and watch for is concerns people might have about their polling places, waiting in lines, those things, having trouble getting registered. I heard nothing but good things about all the polling places in the second ward, and really appreciate the work of all the elections workers, all the judges, and everything.
Thank you.
Councilmember Yang.
Thank you, Madam President. Could I just get a quick explanation on the spoiled ballots? I mean, what exactly constitutes that? I mean, what types of errors need to happen?
Initially, spoiled ballots is in election law as far as reconciliation procedure of how many ballots are in there, voted plus blank plus spoiled, so that what goes to the polls as far as ballots comes back. So it's part of the reconciliation process. Spoiled ballots reflect voter made a decision that they would like to change and request a new ballot, or there's a ballot error, such as an overvote. And some of the ballots are used for testing the equipment prior to the election morning to verify that the auto mark, for example, is operational.
Thank you.
Any other question? Seeing none, thank you, Ms. Wackler-Rhodes, and we've concluded all our business for this canvassing board today, so a motion to adjourn would be in order. All in approval, say aye. Aye. Thank you all very much. Okay, next we've got, the whole, they said they take